ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for those minor technical issues. I didn't know my voice was not out, and thank you for staying tuned. And please, if you are just joining us, today we are talking about the 1 million march that is taking place in Brussels, in Belgium, on the 13th and 16th of June. 1 million march representing the nations of the indigenous people of Biafra, the Amazonians, and also the people of Odua. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. If you're just tuning in, kindly share and invite your friends, and let us have a deeper conversation on what will be taking place in Belgium on the 13th and on the 16th of this month. So, while you're inviting your friends, let us take you on the various issues that our leaders, the leaders of the Amazonian War of Independence, have given to the war, the leaders of the people, the indigenous people of Biafra, and also the people of Odua have presented to the war. Let us just stay tuned.
We've come here to tell the United Nations that the land they mortgaged to Cameroon will be recaptured by the brilliant people of Amazonia.
Right! Yes!
That the complicity they had with the United Kingdom will be dampened. That your spirit, the indomitable spirit that has led you from your homes right here to this plaza, will not be extinguished by the banality of evil installed in our homeland. That the spirit that has awakened from the dusty street of Mutangana to the alleys of Bamenda will not be squashed by the brutality of Cameroon, the complicity of the United Nations, and the utter silence of the United Kingdom. For the blood of our people spilled for those who've gone before us. We stand like valiant soldiers to lay our lives to ensure that their blood wasn't spilled in vain. That they didn't die in vain. That the mothers who scream for their daughters, the fathers who are on shore where their kids are detained, wouldn't mourn in vain. I have come here as a soldier of the revolution. I have come here to assure you that this is just the first step to internationalize our struggle, to make the international community understand our pain, the pain of the mothers, the yearning of the fathers, and the doubts plastered on the faces of our kids, that the land, the 43 square meter land that we own, will not be mortgaged, will not be taken by any other country. That we are ready, that we will fight block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, until the day, as the last speaker said, we will be able to install a government in Boya, a government for the Amazonians, a government by the Amazonians, that is going to speak for us, fight for us, make treaties for us. We are not going to allow an alien dominating power from Yaoundé to decide our future, decide the curriculum of our education, decide which language we speak in our courts. And if the lawyer said no, right from here in New York, we send a message to Yaoundé that we are ready for the gendarmes, the bee, and all the evil spirits that have been installed in our homeland. That we will give our life for a free Amazonia. That if this country was built on the blood of people from distant places, we are ready as soldiers of the revolution to make sure that one day, just one day, we have a homeland to call our own, a place to dwell in peace, a place where we as a people can decide our destiny. You've just got started. It's a long journey. Liberation is not a walk in the park, and I want you to be ready. Do not believe soothsayers who say you are just going to have it on a platter of gold. It's going to be a hard struggle. But the footprints you leave here today will be followed by those after us. They will know we were here. They will know we fought for them. They will know we died for them. They will know we did our part. And so they will use the same rope map to be able to inhabit Africa. If that's the only thing we can give our children, let's do it for Mother Amazonia. I want to thank your leadership. I want to thank all those who've made it possible for me to be here. Together as a people, we will fight together, go to jail together, so one day we may be free together.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you're listening to us from, lovers of freedom all over the world. I welcome each and every one of you to this very special address this very day. Today's date is the 12th day of December in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2020. The time now approximately is 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. This is a live presentation on a very special day that Chukwuokike Abiama has designed, that we must do all we can to save ourselves from extinction, from a people who are determined to come down, to take over the lives of the children of the Most High. A day that we have drawn a line in the sand from which we can never ever retreat. We are not going to surrender our land to Janjaweed. It is not going to happen, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, and as it is customary with us here, I will urge you to welcome other people as well, because the whole world is listening. On all our platforms, they are listening. And if you are doing so, it is very, very important that you pay particular attention to the announcements we have to make this evening. Very, very important that we do so. But as always, and before we go any further, we must hand over our proceedings to the Most High. But before I do so, I must always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. This is a very special broadcast, and of course, we must pray. And prayer we must, this very evening and always going forward. And I will pray in the language of heaven, because Chukwuokike Abiama is in control of all that we have been doing and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwuokike Abiama onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro, iwe nye anyị ndụ n'ala nke dị n'uwe n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị, na-asị gị na nke ọma ma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise. As I said, this very evening we are going to announce our preparedness to defend the land of Biafra. And having waited for very many years for the governors in our land, the entire East, by which I mean the Southeast and the South-South, to do what their counterparts in Yoruba land did, and even what the terrorist Mietiala also managed to do, which they have failed to do up until this very day. We have decided to take it upon ourselves to defend the land of Biafra. We are determined and we are resolute, and we are not going to stop until we eradicate every trace of Fulani terrorism, every trace of hegemonic Janjaweedism in our midst. Until that happens, We are not going to waver. We are not going to retreat, not 1 inch, not 1 iota. We have come that we may do the bidding of the Most High for that which we were sent, or should I say, born in the first place. We are going to defend our land against the ravages of Fulani terrorism. We are going to defend the lives of our people against state-sponsored extrajudicial killings by the zoo and forces. We cannot allow what happened in Obi, Boatompo, in Aba, in Faruku, in Emene to happen anymore. It can no longer happen in our land. Today, we are sending a note of warning, or should I say caution, to all those that delight in shedding the blood of Biafrans and innocent people right across the length and breadth of this zoological republic called Nigeria. That from this day onwards, any attempt to kill innocent people will be kindly reciprocated. Any attempt by the zoo army or the police to kill innocent populations the same way they did in Obi will be met in equal measure.
Stay tuned on ACN TV. We will be right back.
We Yoruba must not remain in this country. 2023 òní ṣẹlẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ti wa. Àwa ti kúrò nínú rọ̀fọ̀rọ̀fọ̀ ikó tó gbà yẹn. Nǹkan tá à ń sọ fún aráyé nìyẹn. Kò sí ìlú náà, kò sí ìlú tán tí máa sọ pé a fẹ́ kúrò tán máa gbà wọ́n ní gbà. Àgbàrá òjò ni. Kò lóhùn onílé wò. Onílé ni ò ní gbà fún àwọn ò ní gbà pé ká jáde àwa la mọ̀ bá ṣe máa àwa la máa wọ̀nà tá a máa fi jáde. A dẹ̀ ń wọ̀nà báyìí. Kò sí pé à ń wọ ẹ̀yìn, à ń wọ ẹ̀gbẹ́, à ń wọ ọ̀tún, à ń wọ òsì. Yorùbá people gbọ́dọ̀ jáde ní Nàìjíríà. That's all. Ìjọba ò sí mọ́. Ìjọba ò lè wà kí gbogbo orú nǹkan máa ṣe. Ńgbà tí àwọn Fúlàní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní 2014 December January kankan. Àwa akégbé síta sí Buhari. Àwọn ará ìlú ẹ̀ lélẹ́yìí tó ń ṣe burúkú wọ̀nyí o. Wọn kò tí ì tóbi rẹpẹtẹ bí eléyìí ńgbà yẹn o. Díẹ̀ la ṣe rí. Àwọn ará ìlú ẹ̀ ló ń ṣe burúkú yìí o. You are their kinsman. You are their tribesman. Tó o bá lo agbára influence ẹ pẹ̀lú wọn. Tó o bá bẹ̀ wọ́n lè stop o. Mo ní wo kójá àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń ṣe bí ẹ̀yẹn kéèmí Bánjí Akíntóyè kí n jẹ́ president Nàìjíríà èmi àwa fi wọ́n sílẹ̀ kán máa dà lúrú kán máa da gbogbo Nàìjíríà lù kán lọ́ máa pààyàn ní ilẹ̀ Ìgbò kán lọ́ máa pààyàn ní north kán máa it won't happen èmi á pè wọ́n pé gbọ́ ẹ̀mí ni bàbá yín ẹ̀ lè wá èmi dẹ̀ ni president Nàìjíríà whatever tó bá ń bí yín nínú ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ rò ṣùgbọ́n ẹ stop pípààyàn káàkiri and they will stop if Buhari had moved in at that point kó dá sí nígbà yẹn kó gbé gbogbo wọn yà ní rí but apparently nǹkan tí gbogbo wa believe báyìí ni pé òun wọn ló tẹ̀ plan ẹ̀. ní sí lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà mọ́ náà là ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n parẹ́ á kúrò lọ́dọ̀ wa Fúlàní tó bá jẹ́ èèyàn dáadáa tó bá fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ tó ẹran ló ń da nǹkan Yorùbá làǹdí gba gbogbo èèyàn tó bá jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ wá máa da ẹran ẹ̀ ó fẹ́ máa ṣe kinní ní kó má wá dà á ṣèbí láíláí ni Fúlàní ti ń da ẹran ńlẹ̀ wa ńgbà tí irú àwa wọ̀nyí wà lọ́mọdé tá a bá ń lọ sóko táwọn parents wa bá tì wá síwájú ká máa ń ṣe sóko àárí Fúlàní tó ń da ẹran a máa bá màlúù ẹ̀ ṣeré a máa sọ fún wa pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ wọn Fúlàní màlúù ó lè sáré jù yín o tó bá bínú tó bá sátẹ̀lé yín ẹ̀ ní lè kọjá àárọ̀ yín mọ́lẹ̀ o ẹ máa lọ sóko bàbá yín Fúlàní gbé wọn yẹn ò bá yàn já wọn kì í jẹ́ kí màlúù wọn wọ oko olóko àá máa ṣiṣẹ́ nínú oko báyìí Fúlàní á máa da màlúù ẹ̀ lẹ́bàá títì ebè kan ṣoṣo ló máa wà láàárín àwa àti Fúlàní àti màlúù yẹn tó ń jẹ oko lẹ́bàá títì màlúù yẹn ò ní yọ wá lẹ́nu àwa náà tá à ń roko nínú oko àyọ wọn lẹ́nu kò sí ìjà Fúlàní ò kì í bá èèyàn jẹ́jẹ́ ni wọ́n ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tán wá kó wá they are not cattle men they are militia men tán ti kọ́ dáadáa how to fight tán ti kó ìbọn dáadáa fún tán dẹ̀ ti indoctrinate pé àwa Yorùbá àwa Fúlàní la máa conquer gbogbo Nàìjíríà iṣẹ́ tán wá ṣe nìyẹn. They have come to cause disruption in order to cause a war. That's all.
Stay tuned on ACN TV. We will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for staying tuned and thank you for listening to all these incredible speeches and prophecies, as a matter of fact, given by leaders of these respective countries that will be discussing with their representatives on this show. We are here today to talk about the 1 million man march in Belgium and why do representatives of these three nations want to have a 1 million march in Belgium. Why are we here today? Ladies and gentlemen, we must know that the people of Amazonia in the past years have been fighting for the restoration of the statehood to Amazonia from the brutal hands of La République du Cameroon. We've all seen with our utter dismay what military, the pro-military forces of the barbaric government of La République of Cameroon has done to the people of Amazonia. The pro-military forces of the barbaric government of La République of Cameroon has done to the people of Amazonia. While the war are celebrating liberation, human rights promotion and protection, in the age of human rights, we in Amazonia, we have suffered gruesome human rights violations in the hands of La République. We've watched our mothers and our friends, our brothers and our sisters massacred in their numbers, buried in mass graves, in different forms and in different shapes. We have seen military committed the worst forms of human rights abuses. We've seen them committed extrajudicial killings. We've seen them committed. We saw what happened in Menka. We saw the Menka massacre. We saw how our brothers were rounded up, killed and set ablaze. We saw what happened in Gabbo. Gabbo massacre, which was on the 14th of February. We've never forgotten about the people of Gabbo. How pregnant women were killed, the bodies set ablaze, children who were still to see the light of the day were killed and their lives were taken away, not giving them the opportunity to even see the light of this world. We have seen the Tuba massacre. We saw massacres in Millon. We saw massacres in Kumba. We saw massacres in Rome. We saw massacres in the Brazil massacre, which is a brother massacre. We've seen how young men and women rallied up, killed and then buried in mass graves in Amazonia. In different parts of Amazonia have we discovered mass graves. We've discovered people killed in the most brutal forms with their hands tied to the back. We've seen our young girls, our university students raped and videoed. We saw what was done to some sailor. Some sailor was killed, beheaded, and butchered in the very view of the war, and we are saying that we are tired of these gruesome killings, the systematic killings, the rape, the massacres, and we want to call the attention of the war once again because it seems as if the war is not listening to the people of Amazonia. We must rise to tell the world what is happening in Amazonia. Just like the Ukrainian crisis is over the national television of every country, we want the world to listen to the plight of the people of Amazonia. We want the world to listen to the plight of the people, the indigenous people of Biafra. We want the world to listen to the Oduduans because we all have heard with work. If we were not in that time, if we didn't know, we all saw what happened. The Asaba massacre that happened in Nigeria. We saw the Alhambra massacre. We saw all of this, and we know that since the declaration of independence of the people of Biafra from 1960, from 1967 to now, we have read and have seen millions of Biafrans butchered, slaughtered, and killed in the most inhumane manner. And today the people of Odua are also saying we are not part of Nigeria. We heard what Professor Banjo Akintoye said regarding the state of Odua, and we heard what Mazi Namdi said regarding the state state of Biafra, and of course we have the leader of the Ambazonia War of Independence, Dr. Lucas Ayaba, what he said to the war in Millon. So ladies and gentlemen, why are we marching to Brussels on the 13th and on the 15th? The people of Ambazonia say they are rising, the people of Biafra they say, no, we can no longer be quiet. And the people of Odua, they say, the world must listen to us, they must see what is happening in these respective nations. They must recognize the desires and the wishes of the people of Odua, the people of Biafra, and the people of Ambazonia. And yes, we are here to talk about that 1 million march. Ladies and gentlemen, before I introduce my guests, my representatives of these three nations to you all, I would like us to have a moment of silence to all the heroes who were murdered massacred in the brutest means by opposing forces to these three nations. Let's give them a moment of silence. And may the souls of the faithful, may the souls of our heroes, may the souls of our heroes rest in power. We say they rest in power, we don't say they rest in peace. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again, and if you're just tuning in, we are talking about the 1 million march in Belgium, taking place in Belgium, in Brussels to be precise, in front of the United Nations, front of the European Union headquarters, pardon me, and that will be on the 13th and the 15th. So I will bring to you representatives of the various nations that will be talking with me here today. We have, of course, Citizen AY of the Odua Nation. Citizen AY, welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Have with us here in the studio, Comrade Zara, Comrade Mazu Zara. Should I put it that way? Mazu Zara, you're welcome and board. Thank you for being here with us. And of course, we have the basic soldier himself. That is Comrade Shekavi. Comrade Shekavi, you're welcome. So, perfect. I will allow Citizen AY to give a brief introduction of himself before we get into
Okay.
the next to Mazu Zara and then.
Thank you for having me on board, the presenter. It's a great pleasure to be here, speaking to many of us who are in this struggle. My name is Citizen AY. I have been in this struggle for a few years now.
I might have to stop you there because we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh.
Yes,
okay.
Good afternoon from here. My sister, thank you very much for having me on your studio. But I just want to draw your attention over this before I introduce myself. The sound is very bad.
Yeah.
It's not coming out very well on social media. So we need to get that sorted before we can proceed, because no one is hearing us at all. It's not good. If you can draw the attention of our technician there just to look seriously into this. This is not really coming out well for the public.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Thank you very much, Mazu Zara. And a technical team, if you can pull us back to the backstage and
yeah, it is not.
That will be helpful. And while we go ahead.
So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. There is a problem with the sound. So I'm gonna try. 1 minute. So apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna try and get the sound. We're gonna get that resolved somehow. There's an issue with the sound. They're working on that as we speak. So do bear with us.
Everybody's aware of what transpired at Nimbo.
We're trying to get that resolved.
What is happening right now in Delta? What is also happening in Ebonyi State and also in parts of Abia? We cannot allow it to continue. We have cowards and spineless, lily-livered idiots as governors. They have given over our land to the Janjaweed to occupy in perpetuity. This very generation, this very IPOB will not tolerate it. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We would rather all perish and die than to allow our land to be taken over by the Janjaweed. It cannot happen. This is a warning to all the governors who are conspiring due to one political consideration or the other to give our land to infidels and blood-sucking demons from the Sahel. It cannot happen, not under our watch. It's not going to happen. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. Our invaders, we are being told, come from Senegambia. We are being told they come from Mali. Some are from Niger Republic. Some are from Chad, according to the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope my sound is okay now.
If
my sound is okay, could you kindly indicate in the comment section, or can the studio confirm with me if my sound is okay?
Yes. But I can't hear.
Team, am I okay? Is my sound okay? Perfect. Thank you very much.
But I can't. Okay. I can't talk. Can I talk?
Confirming that my sound is perfect. So great.
Can I talk at all? Hello.
I'm just gonna go back to Citizen AY. You didn't
Can you hear me?
Opportunity to speak when I called you up.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Give you the mic now to talk and just introduce yourself to our amazing audience.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can hear. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? I can't hear you. There's a problem, technical problem. Can you all hear me?
Would that still be my fault, or would that be Citizen AY's own problem from his own end?
It's the link. It's the link. The link.
Mazi, Isaiah, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, of course, I can hear you very clearly this time. Very sound.
Mazi, Isaiah, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. I will take you now to introduce yourself. Perfect. Let me have you introduce yourself while Citizen AY sorts himself out. Please, can you just kindly introduce yourself?
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, my sister. And thank you for having me on your studio again. And my name is Mazi Aizayoba. I serve the indigenous people of Biafra on the capacity of Deputy European Rep and also a member of the DOS, the Directorate of State of Indigenous People of Biafra.
Me too.
And I'm actually residing in the Republic of Ireland. That is where I'm domiciled.
Hello.
And of course, it's a pleasure to have me in your studio. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that is Oye Island. I am also in Ireland. So I'm going to bring forward the barefoot soldier himself, and I'm just going to start off with him because I know he also has another presentation he's doing somewhere. So barefoot soldier, kindly introduce yourself, and I will go straight into the questions with you after your introduction.
Thank you so much for having me, Comrade Amabu Cecilia. Mazi Azaya, Ototoma, I hope everything is great your end. Comrade and a great citizen, AY. I see you, Papa. I hope say power day and greetings to you and thank you, fellow viewers, for taking your time to listen to us today. It's been a great day, a tiring day, but it's not as tiring like the ones that the people back home are facing. So we are Odua, the people of Biafra, the people of Ambazonia, we've been raped politically, economically, maltreated as a people. We have been castigated. We have been called all type of names. We've been used like donkeys or what you call jackass. We've been we have suffered all type of trauma. We have been battered. We have been slaughtered. We have been used like articles of trade. We've been deemed.
We're trying to fix it. Just beg your pardon. They I can't seem to have my visuals in there for some reason, and we're trying to work on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me. We're trying to work on that as I speak. Okay. Let me just get that back again. Let's see what happens. We're not sure what's happened.
But they kept us down, drowning us, subjugating us, doing all type of barbarism to us, killing us and maiming, raping women and children, burning our hospitals,
Okay.
killing even religious authorities.
Can you guys hear me?
And we came to a time we say it is high time we communicate. It is high time we gather together like people who are suffering, who are having the same
Shit, man.
sad situation, to talk to the world, to communicate to the world using this fine art they call protest. And we say, where can
1,
it
2.
be? And we thought, why is
Ladies and
that
gentlemen, just yeah.
Europe preached so much democracy. Europe talks so much about equality. Europe talks so much about preventive diplomacy. Europe talks so much about the right for people to exist within their sphere of influence. And we decided that since the seat of Europe is in Belgium, where the parliament of Europe is, where the capital of Europe is, we said then that would be the best spot for us to come out like one people that speaks the same language, that suffers the same kind of barbaric oppression that are suffering under the new form of colonialism called the neo-colonialism, blacks by blacks, to send a message to the European Union and to the world that we have come of age to make sure that out and let the world know the kind of situation that we are living in. We have come of age to show the world the real owners of the Gulf of Guinea. We have come of age to tell the world that we are taking back our position. And we are telling the world on the 14th and on the 15th that the so-called preventive diplomacy should not end on the paper on which it was written. It should be put into play. We are coming together in this 1 million march to tell the world that a stitch in time saves 9. There was a time that we were going around Europe and other embassies telling them that the problems in Amazonia will skyrocket to a manner where they will say never again and start giving some kind of dogfowl apologies like they did during the Rwandan genocide. They thought we were playing. Look at where Amazonia is today. Look at where Biafra is today. Look at where the Odua people are today. People are being butchered. There are people with a passport to kill, a passport to kidnap, a passport to arrest just anybody and send to their concentration camps in Yaoundé, Lagos, or wherever they are, called government. There are terrorists with arms called government, doing everything supported by other European countries here in Europe. So we are coming together in this 1 million march to showcase ourselves and to tell the world that we have enough, and it is high time they put that never again into play. Like they will start apologizing like they did during the Rwandan genocide, because it is havoc happening in Amazonia, havoc happening in Biafra, havoc happening within the Odua people, and we are all seeing them in media. The media is trying to stop us, to censor us from sending such barbaric images out there for them to see. But there will be a free vision for them on the 14th and on the 15th to see and make sure that that we get their attention. Thank you so much.
Okay. Chairman Kavi, thank you very much. Yes. Thank you very much for that. You speak with so much passion, and anybody who listens to you know that you are a committed Ambazonian who is willing to sacrifice anything to make sure that the people of Ambazonia are free and that you have a homeland to return to when you reach your retirement age. So now I'm going to bring this to you, Chairman Kavi. You spoke so much about preventive diplomacy, and we talk about the Never Again campaign. You've also talked about Europe preaching human rights and also in supportive of the right to self-determination. Now, the outbreak, the war in Amazonia actually began in 2000, not actually began in 2016, but it sparked again in 2016 with the teachers and lawyers strike. And from 2016 to now, we've lost over 38 to 40,000 people. We have watched our mothers and our children killed, buried in mass graves. We've seen young girls and women raped and caused to crawl in mud in the most brutal and in the most inhumane manner. We have seen our schools and our hospitals burned down. We've seen our communities razed down to ashes. We've seen churches burned down. We've seen religious leaders burned down. And the war has been watching. And I'm wondering, we have been speaking, but the war has been quiet. But I want to ask, why this particular, what do you think? Why this particular march, and what difference do you think this 1 million march will bring to the war? Will bring to Ambazonia and the people of Biafra and Odua? Of course, I will ask them that, but I want you to answer me.
All right, thank you so much. The reason why we think that this might make a difference is because um, something must begin from somewhere. This is the first time these people who have been subjugated to this form of abuse are coming together to to perform this art in a place like the European Union. And we something must begin from somewhere. This is just the beginning, and we are trying to speak the diplomatic language with the sense that diplomacy it doesn't only end in theory, that diplomacy ends in practice, that whatever that we deposit at the European Union should be taken seriously. If it is not taken seriously, then we'll be able also to graduate from there and look at other avenues where the world will have to listen to us. I have told you that protesting is an art, and I don't think there is anybody yet who can give a clear-cut definition of what an art is all about. So from there, we'll make sure that we are able to speak the language that the international community can best understand. So it is our first step that we are taking, and we have made sure that we try to identify what the European Union stands for, and we have seen the loopholes that European Union that exists in the European Union when it comes to African territories, and we are about to tell them also that those loopholes should be covered because Africans are people. What is good for Ukraine is good for Amazonia, is good for the Odua people, it is good for the Biafrans. What is good for Latvia is good for Amazonians, it is good for the Odua people, it is good for Biafrans. What is good for mankind is good for mankind. There is no selectivity as far as mankind is concerned. That is what the information we want to take to Europe. You hear today they are singing, hey, you open your phone, €1 for Ukraine, this for Ukraine. Is it because Ukraine is a European country? What is happening in Africa? And all these their euros are being fabricated with resources from Africa. So they should look at Africa. Africa should not be left like a people that that are only good when it comes to raping. It is high time the international organization start seeing Africans like human beings because they are just looking at us like articles of trade. The Ukraine Union started, the Ukraine war started just yesterday, but Amazonia has been raped since 1961. Soldiers pass with impunity and shoot old mothers and even
I do apologize. There's been some sort of technical issue. We can't seem to resolve it. So that's the problem here right now. I'm trying to get it back. Okay. Hello? Can you hear me? Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I may have to end the broadcast. There's been some sort of network issue that has not allowed this to be possible. I'm trying to do it via another means, but we will see how we can do that. I'm waiting for them to call me back, but I don't know if it will work. Okay, let's try again. I don't know if it will work. It is frozen somewhat. I'm not quite sure. Give me a minute, please. Listen, I'm trying to work out what's going on. Something has happened. I know I know. So I'm going to try and go back in. Oh, gosh. Sorry about this, guys. There's some sort of problem today, and I don't know what it is. So bear with us. We're trying to get back in. I'm not quite sure. Sorry. Let me just check what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. We're trying to get back in. I seem to have lost the visuals for some reason. Allow. Okay. Can you hear me? I know. I've connected via the phone. 1 minute, please. I'm trying to get what's going on. Something has gone wrong here. Sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to fix it as quickly as we can. Okay, let me just try again. Sorry about this. Something has just happened. I don't know what it is, and we don't know what it is. It's not letting me go in. There's some sort of technical glitch, I'm afraid, so I may have to end the broadcast, unfortunately. I'm terribly sorry about this. There's been some sort of technical thing that's not, Can you see me? I'm just trying to put this on. Can you see me? Oh, wow. Okay. I think I'm going to have to do something here. I will have to end this broadcast, I'm afraid. Unfortunately, I will go via my phone now so that we can. I wanted people to see this broadcast live, but we will share the stream. So give me a few minutes, please. I'm going to try and do this. Well, let me see how I can do it. 1 second, please. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute, please. We're trying to solve it as quickly as possible. It seems to have just frozen, and I don't know why it's happened that way, and I'm terribly sorry about this. We'd put the work in. Okay, let me just get that. Okay. So okay, let me see. Maybe I put it. Okay, I think it was sent. Okay. Now, just give me a minute, please. We're trying to get in touch with them. Let me just. We are just trying to sort the problem out. There's been some sort of issue here. So, but we'll be back in due course. I'm trying to get that logged in. So we found a way to get around it. I'm hoping that we can get that sorted out quickly. 1 minute. So it just I don't know what's happened. Normally it would not happen like that. So now we're gonna put this here, so that way you guys can follow what's going on as well. I needed you to follow on.
The important thing is to identify
Now,
the leadership
okay.
that works for you.
Now,
Identify the leadership that works for you. Put your two hands, legs, your head, everything into that movement and get yourself free. Whatever leadership you think, be just to yourself, identify that leadership that works for you, put your hands in it, foot, toe, and nail, and get it work. For me, I have chosen the leadership of the AGOC because they have been tested and they are still standing. Because they have been on the ground, they have built the defense, they have built the diplomacy, and they are still standing. Because they have been battered, they have been pushed to the wall, and they are still standing. So ask yourself, what leadership are you standing for? What have they done to you? What have the leader that you are standing under, what risks, what have he played in this revolution that you think that you can die for him? Or
yeah, so we're working on it. Just bear with me, please. Hopefully,
because that is what
I'll be log. I should be there live.
Never stand behind.
We're trying to connect it so my voice will come through.
Willing to take the same risk that I am taking. That is the reason I stand behind the leadership of the AGOC, because AGOC is risk. Not only the leadership. Once you are an AGOC member, it is a risk already. So let us make our case.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Comrade Kavi. So, fellow Amazonians across the world, wherever you're watching us from, those of us in Europe, it's very easy for us to move from one country to another here within the European Union zone. So, wherever you are, let's make ourselves available and join the 1 million march in in Brussels in front of the European Union headquarters on the 14th and on the 15th. It's a joint 1 million march, ladies and gentlemen. Ambazonians together with Biafrans and together with the people of Odua. So, ladies and gentlemen, kindly make yourself available. Transport yourself to Brussels on the 15th. So I just want to appreciate Comrade Kavi there for the inputs that.
Sorry about that. Oh God, sorry about that.
Free. So I'm just gonna call on
Let's
my
try.
panelists now. I'm gonna call on Citizen AY to introduce himself. I hope his microphone has been adjusted or his sound system has been adjusted. If you can hear me, Citizen AY, I would like you to just briefly introduce yourself and I will come back to you later.
Can you hear me? Anybody hear me? No. Okay, now. Hang on, we're trying to get it back together.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the Citizen AY is still having technical issues, and I'm here with Mazi Isaiah. Mazi Isaiah, I'm glad to have you in the studio again.
Now,
and so I'm just going to ask you
I've logged in. Can you see me? Yeah, we're back now. Can you see me?
But before we get into that, I want to.
Okay, good.
Mazi Isaiah is being. When we look at the fight, the fight of the indigenous people of Biafra from 1967 up to now, we can approximately say we have Biafrans, over 5 million Biafrans have been massacred in cold blood, slaughtered with women, pregnant women, their tummies torn open, and you could see babies in their wombs, and children killed on the street, and the street really flowing with blood. And there has been that bloodbath on the streets of Asaba, the streets of Anambra. And I want to ask you, why has the world been quiet about the massacre of 5 million people We heard about the Rwandan genocide. It's been termed a genocide. And yet 5 million people have been massacred in the fight, this Biafran fight. And yet it has not been officially called a massacre, a genocide. Why is that so?
Okay, my sister, thank you very much, Mother Cecilia. It's a pleasure once again to be on your program. And before I proceed, I would like as well to thank the Amazonian people and the leadership of Amazonia that are working so hard, in fighting what is right for our people in Amazonia. And at the same time, I will not hesitate to, of course, recognize our leader, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who has been in DSS dungeon, if you like, the Zoo Nigerian Authority, went to another sovereign state. They call it sovereign state, and another government went to another government in another country, kidnap a citizen that does not belong to Nigeria, and the world have kept quiet. British complicit in this. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu happens to be a British citizen. But this time around, something happens to a British citizen in a foreign land. The British government, the British High Commissioner, the British Prime Minister, they decided to keep quiet. Because why? Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is an African, and unfortunately, a black man. A black man has not been regarded anywhere, by these British, colonial masters, if you like. We don't even call them colonial masters. British government is a terrorist government that can go into another country, bomb, kill them, have right to kill them, and made away with their resources, and nobody talks. What happened, according to your question, if you have to, if I have to, reply over that question, there's a lot of things that have happened. You are talking about the killing of Biafran since 1967-70. It did not start there. It started from 1945, the first massacre in the north, and then it went up to 1950, and then 52, 54, 56, and then continue until 1967 when Colonel Chukwuemeka Odimegwu decided to say enough is enough. I can't be in a very sensitive position like this, watch my own people, my race being, life being snuffed out of them, and nobody's doing anything. He decided to call them back home. In that regard, the British didn't like it. They didn't have enough of it. So the British want the oil of Biafra land. They want the oil of the resources of the people. And they decided to wage war against Biafrans. In the process, we lost closely 7.2 million people. It's not that 5 million people. The 5 million changed. We made a discovery here, with the Irish journalist who happens to be on ground, not from here reporting. He was on ground. I happens to have access to those documents that he actually wrote a lot of information, which the British refused to tell the world what happened, how they, slaughtered a particular race of people, that 7.2 million people. So this thing happened, and it was well planned and well orchestrated. Like I said, British wanted the oil, the Europe wanted the resources of Biafra land, so instead of going into negotiation with the people, they decided to, use iron fist just to kill the Biafrans, to have unrestricted access, which you are seeing today that they are still, they still haven't got enough of it. And unfortunately, till this very moment I'm talking to you, Mother Cecilia, till this very moment, Biafrans are still being slaughtered. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, like I said, happens to be a British citizen. He was kidnapped. The Kenyan government came in the open and said that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's record showed that he was in Kenya. And how he was, removed from Kenya is unknown to them, according to what they claim. But this is a well-plotted, calculated attack, to shut Biafrans down like they did in 1967 to 1970. But I'm telling you, it's 2022. We are not going to allow them. We are not going to allow them, to get away with what they get away with 1967 to 1970, because we have made up our mind this time around, to make sure that we will fight to the bitter end, if it's what they want, if it's that option, So because it's only an animal. It cannot even kill animals at the rate your Biafrans have been killed, slaughtered, their blood being littered all over the place, their bodies, children are being shot dead, the children are being raped in front of their mothers, mothers are being raped in front of their children. All these are due to the British. And the Western world are not doing anything. Nobody's saying anything about it. Mazen Nnamdi came out and tried to negotiate with these people. They said no. They decided to go and kidnap him in another man's country. Unfortunately, the same Africa that are suffering today at the hands of the colonial masters. Over 47 million Africans were slaughtered, murdered by these people. And today you still see African people selling the future of their children just because of cash, money, paper. Not even the paper. They give you papers and they collect your resources in return. And this is what we're saying no to. This is what man up against. And this is why what we have seen and said, we are not going to leave this battle. We are not going to leave this to our children. We are not going to allow them to slaughter us like they did 1967 without no reason. They could not explain the reason why they slaughtered Biafrans. 7.2 million people, 9 million internal refugees. It has never happened anywhere. That is why you have not heard the Western world reported or talk about the genocide done on Biafran people.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I'm having goose pimples all over my body as you mentioned figures and names. That is so terrifying, and it's unfortunate. I don't know why the Western medias have shut their doors to the various killings happening across Amazonia, across the Biafra land. And Mazi Isaiah, I know there was a turning point in the fight, the fight for self-determination of the people of Biafra, when Bruce Mayrock on the 29th of May in 1969 did a one-man protest in front of the United Nations in New York and set himself ablaze. I knew that was a turning point again in the history of the fight for the people of Biafra. And since then, there was that spark that came up during that time, but we have not seen that kind of, revolution again after that time until after the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What has been the reason of the silence?
Now, I will just say this to you. What the reason of silence is not even only Bruce Mayrock. Joe Job, the guy that made the discovery of the Steve Jobs that made discovery of the smartphone that we're using today. Steve Jobs actually denounced being a Christian. So Steve Jobs actually denied being a Christian, just because of what happened during the Biafran War. Because Steve believed in this modern history that a particular race of people can be slaughtered in that number, and these people happens to be Christians, and nobody talks about it. The man, Steve Jobs, said, if there is God somewhere existing, he cannot be there. He cannot be sitting up there, allowing human beings to be slaughtered the way Biafrans were slaughtered. That tells you the magnitude of the crime the British committed with Nigeria against Biafran people. That tells you that. And it gets to the point, this young man, Bruce Merrick, who happens to be only 20 years old boy, went to the United Nations and set himself ablaze. Has the United Nations done anything till today? Have the United Nations said anything about it? We were talking about Rwanda. We are talking about Armenian genocide. And we are talking about Jewish Holocaust. Hamas life, the way Biafrans were slaughtered in a cold blood, defenseless. No arms were given to Nigerian states. And British spearheaded the massacre of over 7 million Biafrans. Up until today, there was air, land, and sea blockade. Air, land, and sea blockade. Nothing was allowed to come into the Biafra land. And our people were murdered in the cold blood. The Western world are keeping quiet. This is the reason why we're going to European Union. This is the reason why we're actually organizing this 1 million man march. This time around, they are not going to say they are not hearing about what is happening in Nigeria. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is a typical example of the terrorist Nigerian state. What they can do, the level they are going, where a legitimate country is there, another country invaded their country, took another man's citizen. It was due to the British. British were the one complicit at this. Because they want oil. They want Biafran oil. But they don't want the people who owns the land, who owns the oil. And we are asking the world, why? You and I are living in this country. You cannot obtain anything here without merit. I know the Irish people have went through the same thing for 800 years over the British. But how can now British be calling people terrorists? Why then themselves are terrorists themselves? Going into another country, kidnapping, killing. NSAS here is a prime example. It was British High Commissioner Catherine Lang went to Lagos and employed the Nigerian soldiers who happened to be, because that's the way I see Nigerian soldiers. That's the way I see Nigerian security agencies. They are not there for the Nigerian citizen. If there is anything like Nigeria, they were not there for Nigerian citizens. The Nigerian security agents, DSS, whatever nonsense you call them, they are only there serving the British interests, protecting their farm, their estate called Nigeria. That is what they are there doing. That is what police, Nigerian army in a broad daylight, took an AK-47, shoot somebody in a broad daylight in front of children and kids without, considering the trauma, the effect that could have to the society. That never happens anywhere. Since you have been in this country, you haven't seen police, the army on the street, unless on a special occasion they will be invited. Armies are meant to be at the defending the aggression, the external aggression against the country, if you like. But Nigerian army and security agencies, supported by the British, do you know that anti-robbery squad that the Nigeria have today, we are actually formed by the British, trained by the British, and paid by the British. This anti-robbery squad that you saw the NSAS protests, the youth protests 2 years ago, we are the one killing the people. British were the one paying them. And how do you expect the world to talk about it with our resources? That is the reason why we are calling Africans must stand up, not even only Biafra. And I thank God that Ambazonians have seen the light today. They have stepped up. and the leadership are fighting very hard, and the men on ground are doing exceptionally well to make sure that our women, our mothers, and our children are well protected. Nobody can do this fight for us except nobody. Nobody. You don't expect anybody to do the fight for you. And we are not going to allow our children to go through this. The only thing that can stop us, is only death. Death, nothing more. We will fight to the last man standing. We must let the world know that we have right to life.
Okay.
That is what we're talking about. The intimidation, the killing, the raping of our women and children has to stop.
Oof, I can feel you.
And we must stand up to
right
this.
in my bones.
And all Africans must stand up. The shame has to come to an end. The shame of black race must come to an end.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you. And thank you very much for that passionate one there. And I will have to ask you another question before I go back to Citizen AY. Citizen AY, but let me just bring Citizen AY on. Citizen AY, can you hear me now clearly? Can you introduce yourself?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear you. I hear you.
5 on 5. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good. Okay, at last. First of all, apologies for the technical mix-up. It's a pleasure to be on this platform with yourself, the beautiful presenter, and my fellow people speaking for Ambazonia, Biafra, and my Mazi brother, and my Ambazonian representative as well. So I want to first of all thank you all for putting this up. And of course, we are talking about the Million Man March. Myself, my name is Citizen AY. One of the things that brought me onto this struggle was really, I was late to the struggle, and I mean really, really late to it. I heard about the 67 and 70 war, and I thought, oh, well, there was, I don't know what it was. I was a baby at the time. I didn't understand what was going on. And even in the 70s and 80s, I still did not connect what was going on. But it was when I started seeing that our people, certain people, I started getting some inkling when we started hearing words like quota system. And then you start going, okay, what is quota system? The quota system now meant that if you are a Fulani man, you got a free pass to everything in the land. If you are a Igbo man, if you're a Yoruba man, if you're a Ijo man, if you're a Middle Beltan, you don't, everything is tougher for you. Then I started questioning things. But then I still really didn't, take much notice. And of course, as many of us do, when the opportunity came to leave, to leave the shores, I left. It was whilst I was out of that contraption that a light suddenly came on. I'd been hearing about Nnamdi Kanu for some time, and I just thought, oh, he's just making noise and everything else. I thought, oh, no, he's wrong. Without understanding what he was saying, to the fact that many of us have had to leave that contraption because of the oppression that we are under. But we didn't know we were under oppression. We weren't aware of it. So, going forward, I had a very, very tragic incident. One of my close relative of mine was ill, and I went home to try and take care of them. And at that point, I got defrauded quite a lot of money. And it shook me to the core. That shook me to the core. And then I thought to myself, and then I saw some programs. I saw when I was back in Europe, in UK, I saw a program where they started talking about people jumping into the sea for 100,000 naira. And then I thought, oh, okay, I've been badly defrauded and everything else, because of this people that were supposed to help me with the help of my relative. But I'm recovering. But here we have, in fact, I actually had a nervous breakdown about it, to be honest, I did. But I recovered. Now, people were jumping into the sea in Lagos for owing 100,000 naira. Just think about it, 100,000 naira. At that time, it was something like, I don't know, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, something like that. So, and that was what got me thinking, if I can begin to actually look at how we can address the concerns, because the concerns that I've suddenly realized that the concerns of the people who are killing themselves was really the same concerns that I have. That is lack of infrastructure, lack of safety, lack of security, no representation in governance, oppression everywhere at every turn. And at that time, I wasn't even aware that we had the resources that we had now. So that's me in a sense. Now, going fast forward, I now came and I saw the video of Namdekano. Then I started listening to him. Then I started going, this is interesting. Okay, okay. And then I started seeing the connections. And then by that time, I was still believing in one Nigeria and all of that nonsense. But it was when I now started doing the constitutional citizen AY constitutional awareness action reading. I will be reading Nigerian constitution on a broadcast. I would on my platform. I would be reading it section by section. So when it gets to section 10, and it said no state shall be adopted as state religion. But then you then saw that every part of that constitution was like it was Sharia law. Majority of this thing was Sharia law. And I mean, what really got me, a woman section, I can't remember what section now, I'll have to look at it. But a woman, if a man marries a 4-year-old, that 4-year-old in the north, that 4-year-old will be deemed to be of age, to be 16 years old or 18 years old. And that shocked me. That was when I knew that, no, that is it. No, we cannot do this. This is not what we are about. It is one thing for the Fulanis or for those in government to do that in their area. But when they start trying to take away our own culture, our own self-belief and how we do things, no. So that was when we came out and we started, and really going for Yoruba Nation. So that drove us to this point, and ever since then, the link between Biafra and Odua, we formed that bond. We've been doing a lot of protests together, and many of us were actually part of the people who were going to protest about freeing a lot of people who are being locked up. And I remember with Chewore, I was part of Chewore, the AAC at that time. But then when he got freed and then they wouldn't let him go, that was when I knew, no, we're going for Yoruba Nation full on. So fast forward, we are here now, 2-3 years down the line, and we've been passionately, solid, supporting the clamor for one Nigeria, and for Yoruba Nation, and for Biafra Nation, and Ambazonia. I've been watching Ambazonia, but to be honest, the speaker that spoke earlier on, I'm really grateful for what he said. And the things that honestly, he hit the nail on the head. And I also thank my brother Mazi for the passion that he displayed now. To be honest, like yourself, it shocked me, even though I'm hearing it and I've seen those things. When you see those pictures and you hear what he's saying, this is the only way now is for us to stand up as Africans. And we have the opportunity as being the most populous part of Africa to now actually, and with the resources that we have, we can make that change. But it needs concerted effort. So I'm really happy to see that Ambazonia, Biafra, or Odua, or Yoruba Nation, that we are now in unison clamoring and building this coalition to make sure that we speak for our people and we claim what is ours. We're not going for somebody else's stuff. This is the resources in our land. The thing is said. I want you to please let me know if I may. I wanted to just say something quickly. Do you know that we're going to? Do you know the place we're going to? It's in Brussels, right? Okay. Now let me tell you this. Imagine this. Now put this picture. King Leopold. He killed 10 million in the Congo for robber, for their resources, enslaved them. Until date, Congo, even though they say they're independent, they're not free. Their resources have been taken by the French, by the Belgians, by the USA. I mean, the stuff we use in our iPhones, it comes from there. These people, they are suffering. They are Africans. So when you look all over, so it's quite interesting that the people what the message in here, we're not speaking just for Ambazonia, we're not speaking just for Biafra, we're not speaking just for Odudua, we're speaking for the whole of Africa. We are literally speaking for the whole of Africa because we've now taken it right to the door of where 10 million people have been killed and they have not apologized. Period. They have not, and they will never apologize. The apology means nothing to me. What is important is that we get back our land. And what we are doing here is we are hoping to energize the coming generation to speak up boldly and say, look, this is our land, and we take the steps to make sure we redress and go back to how our ancestors. Look, the largest earthworks in the world is the Benin Kingdom. 10,000 square, 10,000. It went round, and it's still the record till today. It's still a record. And these are the kind of things that our people need to know. And there are so many historical things that we've done that our people must begin to reclaim our glory. Our ancestors left us with such great gifts. Many of those gifts are being carted away. Go and look in the museums all over Europe, all over America, all over in Canada, where you will find African art. You will find stuff that our ancestors did that we cannot touch. We have to go behind the screen to be watching. That is who we are. The greatness that we have, they separated from us. It is time for us as Africans to collectively say no more. We take it back and we make sure that our people we are human beings. Mazi said it. We are human beings, and we must state to the world that we can no longer accept being treated like as though we are animals, and we're not.
Citizen
Thank
AY,
you. Sorry. Yeah.
Citizen AY.
Thank you. I hear you.
Citizen AY, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to step in there now because I will also. There are a lot of people. Who. A lot of people have heard so much about the Biafran war. A lot of people have heard about the Biafran nation, but not many people have heard about the Oduduwans, and they are wondering who are they, and where do they come from? And you are a representative of these people, and we want to know how the Oduduwans, the ones back home in Nigeria and the ones overseas, are reacting to the new nation of Oduduwa and their support to this new nation. But before that, would you tell the people who you are so that people will know these people? They've heard much about the Biafrans, they've heard about the Ambazonians, but who are the Oduduwans?
Yes. Thank you very much. I will, to make things easier, we say Oduduwa. It's more Yoruba, to be honest. But for the purposes of what we're doing, we can interchange between Oduduwa and Yoruba. But we, the Oduduwa or Yoruba people, however we're comfortable with it, we say Yoruba generally. But because of the struggle, a lot of the time we mention that. But now, we Yorubas, we come from a place, the Oyo Empire. The empire was as far as Benin, as far as into I think in Togo as well. So this and it went up to Nupe, and this is the kingdom where we Yorubas we've been in existence for thousands of years before the Europeans came. There's been some record that they found on the oldest I think it's an African, or I think it's 13,000 years old, in a place called the Cave of Ashes in Ondo State. Cave of Ashes. So that is even there are more history that can actually talk about. But what is very important about Yorubas, we came up, we Yorubas in those empires, we created governments, functioning governments. I have something somewhere here. I wish I had it on me now. There is a system of government. We had a hierarchical government that was functioning and maintained different parts of that empire because it was a big empire. So that's who we are. We are the Oyo people from the Oyo Empire. Now we have some close relations with the Benin Kingdom as well. So that is another part of it. So there is a lot of interconnection between Yorubas and Benin Kingdom, and of course, Biafrans by extension. So that is who we are in a synopsis. And culturally, we have an amazing culture. The drums, our talking drums, is what we are known for. When when we play those drums, you can hear the rhythm, the passion, the fruit. We are great farmers. Many things that people don't realize. We bake cocoa. When Obafemi Awolowo, when he was the premier of the Western region, one of the recovery for us in that region was cocoa was our mainstay. It was from cocoa that he was able to bring in the fourth television station in the whole of Africa. It was from cocoa that was able to ensure that we had free education for the children. It was from that same cocoa that they provided free healthcare. Now, this was a model that was going to go forward and build and carry on. But unfortunately, because of the powers that be, the colonials, and they're realizing that if they allowed the development of the Western region to go ahead, their attempts to have the resources for themselves would be curtailed. That is why they started putting in those who are, let me just say, for want of a better word, backward. They put them in charge of those who knew how to use the resources beneath their feet. He went up to South America and brought cows in. What they're talking about here is nonsense. This thing about cattle grazing is utter nonsense. So, I mean, there are other things we could talk about. I'll pause back. I don't know. There's a lot to say. There's a lot to unpack. But I hope that gives you an idea. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Citizen AY. Yes. Definitely. We can never discuss the history of any nation in a twinkle of an eye. It takes time and it takes a lot of energy to bring forth, because I cannot just sit here in 1 minute or 2 minutes and discuss the history and give the birth of Ambazonia and everything happening in Ambazonia. But thank you for that clarity. A lot of people that have been following that may not know what Oduduwa means or who Oduduwans are. At least from now they know who you are and why you are fighting for the statehood of Oduduwa. So I will go back to Mazi
Thank you very much.
Isaiah, and I want to ask you, Mazi Isaiah, what is the significance and the importance of this 1 million march to the people of Biafra, and most especially to your leader, Nnamdi Kanu, where he's currently incarcerated in Nigeria?
Right. Thank you very much again, and thank you, my brother AY Citizen. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we've been to Brussels. I think this should be the third or fourth time now. I think the fourth time we are going to Brussels. But the significance of it is that we want to let the European Union know that they should look into what is going on in Nigeria. There's a kind of news blanket over the killings and the maiming of our people, and they pretend like they don't know about it. They pretend like they don't know what is going on in Nigeria, and also what is happening to our people. This time around, we want to eyeball to eyeball. We want to bring it to their doorsteps. So, and that will be documented. That will be in the record that we, at this particular day, have been at the European Union, and we have actually raised this concern over the inhuman treatment of our people, the illegal adoption of our people, the illegal raping of our people, the illegal incarceration, kidnapping of our people by the Nigerian state. We are bringing this to the attention. So it won't be like tomorrow. It will be like the 1967 to 1970. There was no media that is actually reporting the massacre of Biafrans. It was only listened by what the British has given to them. So this time around, that is why they're not gonna win this battle at this very last time, because by the special grace of God, you and I and other Biafrans are also in diaspora now, and we are keeping an eye on everything that is happening. So we want to let the Western world and the European Union know that this is exactly what is going on, and we come in peace. Not that they will help us. We know that they will not. But we want to let them know that we have come here and we have presented this matter to you, and you are looking the other way. There's only a period that you can hold somebody too tight in a corner. And at a certain time, that person, that animal will react. We are letting them know now. We haven't come with any weapon. We did not come with any other thing. We only just come in, look into what is happening in the zoo called Nigeria. Look into what is happening in the British contraption called Nigeria, and let our people go. We have right to life. Self-determination is recognized in the European Union shrine, and also at the the United Nations. Allow us to be. You can have that business. You can have that business directly dealing with the Biafrans, and you will get a good deal. You can hate us and then love what is in our land. You can kill us and then you want to also possess what we have. It doesn't work that way. We also in Europe, we never anywhere illegally go and occupy any section or any part of this country. It hasn't happened. So allowing these people coming in our land, killing us, taking resources, and killing us in the process. This is what we're coming to let them know. And this is the significance of this. That we have come to your doorstep, and you can never deny tomorrow that you have never had the inhuman treatment of our people, the underdevelopment of our area. You are taking our oil. You are polluting the ecosystem of our land. We are not allowed to farm. We are not allowed to develop.
Okay.
We are not allowed to have basic life. And all these things are due to the British and their interest. We want to tell them this time around that we have come in peace. And what happened to 1967 is still ongoing. And we have right to life. This is the significance. And we want to let them know, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been kidnapped. He's an European citizen. Why keep him quiet? If there is equity, and fairness everywhere, why those equity and fairness are not applied to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, who happens to be
Thank you very much.
a European citizen?
Right. Yeah, thank you very much. That is the question on everyone's lips, and that is what we should be asking ourselves, asking not just the European nations, but also African nations who have been utterly silent at the arrest of your leader, Nnamdi Kanu. We know that British citizens who have been arrested in Afghanistan, Britain has done everything to go and get them back home. White British citizens, and we know this for a fact that no American citizen will be arrested or locked up in another country and they'll be quiet. It's the same thing like the Irish citizen that is locked up in another country. The Irish government does everything to make sure that that citizen is released, and Britain has done so with its own citizen. So they are indirectly telling us that there is a distinction between the white British citizens and black British citizens, and we are calling the world to see this discrimination in terms of citizenship by the British government. So I know the spokesperson for the indigenous people of Biafra issued a statement confirming and reassuring everybody that is going to be attending that a march past in Brussels, that the authority has given its consent for this demonstration to take place. And so Ambazonians have received this from the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council and other fractions of the Ambazonian War of Independence. And also, I believe that the Odudu ones have also received a confirmation from Citizen AY confirming that the place, the march past has been legally approved and nobody should be afraid whatsoever to take part in this march past. So what message do you have for Nigerians across Europe in respect to this march past in Brussels? And the same question for you, Citizen AY. I will start with you, Citizen AY, but I would like you to be as brief as possible. Just let Ododo ones know the importance of the message you have for them and why they must attend this march past.
Yeah. Look, my fellow Odudu Yoruba people, Odua people, this match is very, very important. Look, unity is strength, and I want us to really think about that. It is that simple. Our unity is what will get us to the goal. Our collective goals are to go for self-determination as Ambazonia, as Biafra, as Odudua, and Middle Belt as well. That is our goal. So what I want to say is it's not a very long message. It's simple. You are in Brussels. If you are in Europe, you can get down to the Million Man March outside the European Parliament on the 14th and 15th of June. Make your way down there. Make your way down. In Europe, we all know that the laws, people are allowed to protest. There is no, as long as you do not go against the law and you followed the requirements of what was required of you to really just abide by the rules, not damaging anything. And like Mazi said, we are simply going there to say, look, we are putting you on notice. We no longer consider ourselves to be in the boxes that you put us. We are speaking up for our people in our land. It is our right to self-determination, our inalienable right to self-determination. And we as Ambazonians, as Biafrans, and as Yoruba people, Odudua people, we are going forward. We are putting the European Union on notice that we are telling them that they have to recognize that we are now self-governing by ourselves, whether or not they like it. We're not seeking their permission. We're not. It's very important to understand. We're not seeking their permission. We are telling them we are making it so by ourselves. Freedom is what? Taken, never given. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
Okay.
None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, cause none of it can stop all the time. How long more kill our prophets? I want to turn aside and look away. Emancipate yourself. That's what we're about. So please, on the 14th and 15th of June, come to Brussels. Join us. We owe it to the coming generation to make a better future for them. And that can be done by unity among Ambazonians, Biafrans, Middle Belt, Odudua people. I thank you.
Okay. Thank you there, comrade, Citizen AY. I didn't know you were a singer as well. So thank you for that. I'm just going to go to Mazi Isaiah. Please assure Nigerians, Biafrans across Europe and across the world why they have to be there, the reason why they have to be there, and the fact that this has been legally approved for them to be in Brussels.
Right. Thank you very much. And Mwada Cecilia, thank you. Once again, of course, it's not our first time we've been to European Parliament. They know us. They know that we have also presence of Biafran and IPOB in Belgium. And they are the one hosting this Million Man March. Of course, like I've said, we've done a lot of work behind the scenes, and we had a committee that actually organized this from our people across the globe, looking for direction over this Million Man March. Well, regardless, we have done all the needful, and the thing is that that we need to let our people know that all the measures have put in place, all the security details, everything have been organized. We are good to go. There's nothing anyone should be worried about, because the Belgium government or the Brussels government actually they have also put that security in place to make sure that everything runs smoothly, which they know that IPOB never a violence movement. So our people, what I have to tell our people, like I have said previously, this is not only a war for Biafra. This protest is not only for Biafran people. This awareness is not only for Biafran people. Basically, it's also for Ambazonians have gone through hell in the last couple of years. Where we've seen some videos of a young woman with a baby in the back being shot at by the Cameroonian soldiers. But Africans are not saying anything. Africans prefer dying in the Mediterranean Sea, struggling to cross Europe. But what we are trying to say here...
Okay, Mazi, because I am running out of time, I believe Biafrans across the world, Ambazonians across the world, and Oduduwas across the world are listening to us, and they know the importance of us being in Brussels on the 14th and on the 15th. I'm just going to quickly bring in Comrade Kenneth. Comrade AY, you are live and we can hear you and we can hear everything you're saying. So I'm going to quickly bring in Comrade Kenneth, the chairperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council fraction of Belgium, to just introduce him. I've already introduced him. Just tell Ambazonians in Brussels the importance of this match and why they should be there, because we have to round up.
Yeah, good evening, fellow comrade. Thank you very much, Cecilia, my senior comrade. Yeah, fellow brothers and sisters, we know what we are out for. We know what we are out for. As you guys had rightly said, we had suffered a lot these past years. The Ododuas, the Biafrans, how people have been butchered down there. This match is to come out and tell the Europeans what we really have in our mind. As the comrade, the Ododua comrade just said, it is something not to be feared about, because the permission is being granted. We are ready. We've we've printed our placards. We'll be out there to demonstrate a peaceful demonstration. Ambazonia is not a violent group. We've got our placards. We've got our sound systems ready, flags and posters. Everything is ready for a good go. So if anybody is around on that day, let him not fail, because it will be the final push into our struggle. So there's not much to say, because all the comrades have just got the same ideology like the Ambazonians.
Thank you very much.
So please come out that day in your numbers. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chairman Kenneth. Thank you very much for that. And also, before I will call you all to just give me your closing remarks, I just want to bring the attention of our viewers. Like the various panelists, they said in their presentations, they've talked about the lack of unity amongst Africans to stand amongst themselves, to fight with one another. We all remember that when it was time for when during the apartheid in South Africa, the whole of Africa rose in support of South Africa. We defended South Africa, we fought with South Africa, we sympathized with South Africa. When it was time to cry, we all cried with South Africa, and when it was time to celebrate and jubilate, we all did same with South Africa. But we have not seen that unity when it comes to the freedom of the people of Ambazonia, the right to self-determination of the people of Ambazonia, despite the maiming, the raping, the kidnapping, the enforced disappearances happening in Ambazonia. We saw how over 30 motorists were totally, completely disappeared. We've not heard anything about them. It's the same thing that is happening in the Biafra land and also in Odua. So we are saying that as much as we are going to the European Union to talk or to present our cases, because we all have a right to self-determination. That is what the European Charter on Human Rights says, and that is what the United Nations Charter says on the issue of self-determination. Every people have a right to their own government, to their own economy, to their own system. And this is why we are rising to say Belgium is a must, and Belgium is a must attend for every Ambazonian, for every Ododuwan, for every citizen of and indigenous people of Biafra. And just a quick one, we have seen the reaction of Europe in terms of their reaction towards the Ukraine war. We saw how they came as a people to protect their own. And this is a lesson Africans must learn. One, if you hit one, you hit all. That is what Europe has shown us in the past months. But we have failed as a nation. We saw African leaders sending messages telling the Russian government to mediate or to come to a negotiation table or to have a meaningful dialogue with the people of Ukraine when Africa is burning and sinking and they are doing nothing. And the leader of the African Union was able to even visit Russia to talk with Vladimir Putin about the need to negotiate with Russia. It is a pity, to say the least, that our African nations are unable to stand with their own fellow brothers, to stand with the people. Thousands of people have been butchered, slaughtered. There is a heavy bloodbath in Ambazonia. There is the same bloodbath in Nigeria, in the Biafra land, and also in the Oduduwa land. But we have not seen the reaction of African leaders, the African Union coming up to make sure to defend the territorial borders of Ambazonia, that of Oduduwa, and those of Biafra. And yet they go out to talk about the crisis in Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not want to talk more on this. We will have another panel to talk about the utter silence of the African Union or African nations about the cry and the pain and suffering of other African nations, when we are supposed to stand, as the word says, African unity, to fight for one another and defend one another's life and integrity. So I'm just going to leave it at that, and I will call you, Mazi Isaiah, to give your closing remark on this, and we will definitely have a discussion on the response of Europe to the Ukrainian crisis and the response of Africa to the thousands of lives lost in Africa every day under utter silence. So let's have your closing remark on this.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Mother Cecilia. Of course, we have that has been a marathon today. Of course, what we have to what we're telling our people is that it's time for us to stand up and do the needful. Nobody can do this. Fight for you except you. Nobody can defend you if you don't defend yourself. What happened in Yoruba last Sunday, where a gunman went in a church and killed over 200 people, and the Nigerian state are not reporting it. They keep claiming that it's 20, 10 people, 15 people. It's over. If you see the video, it's very disturbing. The piles of bodies of church worshippers, people who went to church, and they were shot at, killed at a close range by the Fulani terrorists. And Nigerian government were having a banquet. So president were having banquet the same day. Why over 200 Nigerians were killed in a church? These are the things that anybody that have a sane mind supposed to come out over this protest. Let us learn that. Let us deny ourselves this little pleasure and go and make our people, make the public know what is happening. Because what the Western world are looking at somehow, what they're looking at is that how are you people being killed and none of you? So we have some of you here in Europe, we have some of you here in the Western world. It's only few people talking. Then these are the things the Western world are looking at. They want to see some of you to come out. They want to see the appetite of freedom. You want to free yourself.
Okay.
And they can't come to do it for you. They will not come to do it for you except when you yourself.
Okay.
So please, this is an opportunity. We are using this time to invite Biafrans, Oduduwas who are living comfortably in the Western world here, to look at, also feel the pain our people are going through back homes, and also come out and support the freedom of their own people. Thank you very much again for having me, and I want to appreciate you for spending this enormous time to host us here today. And I believe that Ambazonians have listened. I believe also Biafrans have listened. I believe also the Duduwas have listened. And we continue until Duduwa is free, until Ambazonia is free, until Biafrans is free. Thank you very much, and Mechuko Kabiama bless you from here. I know both of us are here, but have a blessed day and a good weekend.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you. And I'm just going to come to you, Citizen AY, and I will just kindly ask that you be brief, and I will do same for Chairman Kennedy. So, your closing remark, please.
The presentation and discussion here, a very important discussion that we're having. Again, we want to reiterate to our people. It's very, very.
Citizen AY, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
You're fine.
Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Okay. So once again, I just want to say quick. Okay. Now, thank you very much. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again for having me on the platform and part of this discussion. It's very important. Look, it's on each and every one of us to stand up for our people, to raise the level of awareness in our communities. What has been done to us is wrong. The only people that can fix it is you and me. You and me. We need to stand up collectively in unity. And that is the process we're doing by mobilizing many of us to go to the European Union on Brussels 14th and the 15th of June. Come down there, 12 o'clock sharp, be there. Look, your voice is needed. And we can make this change ourselves. Nobody else will do it for us. It's only us. This is on us. And we are doing this for the coming generation. We are doing this for the coming generations. We don't want them to go through what we have had to go through, going across seas, dying in the seas. I've got friends that died in the Mediterranean Sea trying to come to Europe. So please, come out. Come out, let them know that we are awake, we are ready, and we are speaking up. And every time we stand up and we come like this, we are speaking for the whole of Africa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Citizen AY. And I'll come to you there, Comrade Kenneth. Chairman, just very brief, and we will just round this up.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. Though I've just been in a very short time into the meeting, I can feel some strength. I hear what we've just said in this short minute. I still want to plead with every Ambazonian, every Biafran, every Odua to be out on that day. So we should come out in our numbers. As the comrade Cecilia rightly said, the time South Africa was in their crisis, all Africa stood up for South Africa. So it should be with us. As she also rightly said, one touched is everybody touched. So please, please, on that day, we will be out there to tell the European Unions, the European Union, what it is and what is to be done. Thank you very much. Thanks very, very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen, of course, and myself, lady. Thank you all for making it a point to be here this afternoon to talk to our people on this all important 1 million man march. We all know how important this is, and to the people of Odudua from my end, I want to grave your indulgence to make it a point to be in Brussels. You have to fight for your children. You have to fight for your nation. If you are a freedom fighter, you would understand or you would know that freedom is never given. Freedom is never given. And when the tide of a revolution starts, there is no turning back. We know for a fact that we have started this, we have to finish it. You don't want to bequeath this to your own children. What you want to give to them is a free nation. So I'm calling on the people of Oduduwa. I'm calling on the people of Biafra, and I'm calling on my fellow Ambazonians to show up in a grand style and in the numbers in Brussels. Let the world see us. Let the world see us, and let the world know that there was a time that these three nations that are fighting for their right to self-determination came together in front of a war body that claims to be a human right oriented organization with principles and values on the rule of law, human right, and democracy to present their case before the war so they can stand to support this nation that is fighting for their right to self-determination. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's make it a point in Brussels on the 14th and 15th of this month. Thank you all for watching, and keep sharing and sharing and sharing until we reach Brussels. And until freedom comes, we are not backing down. Let's go, Ambazonia. Let's go, Biafrans, and let's go, the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Biafra.
Land of the rising sun, we love
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of Ambazonia.
When we do this now, so that was a broadcast from ACN
TV.
So I want to thank you all. We're gonna bring that to a close now. So let's so what I'll do, so we are going to bring that to an end now. I'll be back later on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my camera will not be back on now. I wonder, I'll try. Maybe it might come on. I don't know if it will come on, but we'll try something. It may work, it may not work. I want to just seal my face so that we can, I need some information. There's some information that I need to pass out. Apparently there's been some threats made, and I'm going to play the voice message. If you don't see me, that's fine. We are working on trying to get that back. Let me see if I can get the it may not come on. Okay.
Recording.
Well, here I am. You won't see my face, but trust, I'm here. What I want to do is pass on a message. I want to pass on a message to you because
Recording
we needed
stopped.
to get this done in a particular way. So I want to thank those watching. So I'm going to end the broadcast. Come out from this one now. Let me end this one. Give me a minute, please. So I'll call him back later on. Now, so that was a broadcast for June 14 and 15 in Brussels. They want as many of us to come down. If you're in Brussels, I'm Odua. Let's come out at the Brussels and European Parliament. Raise our voices. We are all, you see that area, we are all in a struggle. Even the Congo. And the place we are going, they are the ones who took Congo. They took Congo, and they are 77% smaller than the size of the land that they took in Congo. Just to put a context in it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to listen to, I got a message this afternoon, and I'm going to play it. I'll see if I can show the video, but I might just play it first because I've just got that information. That information just literally came in minutes ago about the threat to Madame Monitiri and to I think there are others. Let me just hear it as I speak to you now. 1 minute. I'm going to play it because I just got that information and it is something we should share. Let me put it up here. So listen, let's go. So I'll sing along with it. Oh, sorry. What happened there? 1 minute. I don't know what happened there. Let me just go back. I don't know what happened there. 1 minute. I might be new. Sorry about this. Let me just get it. I'll bring it back up. I don't know what happened there. That is rather odd. Okay. Let me forward it. I want to play it. Oh, goodness me. It's breaking for some reason. Okay, let me play it another way. I'll hopefully get it another way. I don't know what's going on, but there's a message that I'm trying to play. So we will try and get that up and running. Okay. I'll try one more time. I don't know what's happened. There's a message about a threat to her life. So let's hear the message. So
June 12, June 12 lọ́la gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà wa tẹ́ wà ẹ má fi sí pé yẹn kò kàn mí ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé sẹ́ àwa náà àdúró àgbà yín tá a fẹ́ la fẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká pàdé ní Abẹ́òkúta lọ́la ní Ogun State ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ní olúwọba láàánú àwa pẹ̀lẹ́ ní kọ̀ọ̀kan wa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mò ń bá lọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọba wa mo lè fẹ́ kí gbogbo èèyàn ara lé ẹ lè pè wọlé lé lórí láti sọ ẹ̀hónú yín lé lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ gbé wá níwọ̀nba àsìkò náà mo ní láti fẹ́ sọ tí mo fi ní kí sáré wá torí bó ṣe ń dùn ẹ̀mí mi ìrùbó dùn ẹlòmíì bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ṣe pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwa ò kí ń bá wọn bú ọba ẹ̀yin kábíyèsí ẹ̀yin aládéládé àtẹ̀yin baálẹ̀ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ má sì bá wọn lọ́wọ́ sí voice note tó tẹ̀ mí lọ́wọ́ ó jẹ́ nǹkan tó jẹ́ pé mo ò pé so lásìkò tí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí só yẹ kí ó tún lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ káwọn ọba ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ǹjẹ́ só yẹ káwọn ọba wa ǹjẹ́ só yẹ ká tó lè máa gbégbèsè bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe fún bàbá wa Abíọ́lá níjọ́ kìíní àná tó jẹ́ pọ́lá náà ló máa tó pé ọjọ́ náà ǹjẹ́ wọ́n tún lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ láti fẹ́ gba owó lọ́wọ́ ìjọba láti fi ta ìran wọn láti fi san gba owó ẹ̀mí àwọn ọmọ wọn ǹjẹ́ sọ yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ torí láàrin mi àti yín torí à ń pè ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní òwe ó ti lárónù torí tabaníkájọ owó tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ jọ̀ọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run kì í sí ọ̀wọ̀ nìkan ni kíní ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ìlú mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ní táìmù kan náà ìṣẹ́jú kan náà àsìkò kan náà ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Ọ̀wọ̀ lọ́jọ́ náà ó ṣẹlẹ̀ l'Ákúrẹ́ nígbà kan náà ni ó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kwara State that's wọ́n pè bẹ̀yẹn ní Odua that Èkìtì Kwara mọ́ ọwọ́ kíní díẹ̀ síwájú ó ṣẹlẹ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn náà tí ọwọ́ nìkan la gbé sórí gbogbo àwọn ìlú yòókù náà gbogbo akátá la rí lórí mídíà torí pé tọ̀wọ̀ yẹn pọ̀ ẹ lọ́wọ́ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Kwara yẹn náà ló ti pààyàn lọ bílẹ̀ bí ẹni bò èyí tí a rí gbámú tá a lè gbé sórí mídíà òun là ń gbé sórí mídíà torí tó jẹ́ tó bà gbogbo wa nínú jẹ́ ni lẹ́yìn ìgbà yẹn tó ṣẹlẹ̀ láwọn ibòmíì náà tó jẹ́ pé wọn à gbé síta gbogbo wa náà la sáré kìtìkìtì láti lọ sí ibi tí kìnìún ti ṣẹlẹ̀ láti lọ káàkiri àbí ibi tí wọ́n tún ní wọ́n tún fẹ́ àtáàkì tí ò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo gbọ́ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé ó dùn mí púpọ̀ ni bàbá mi ẹ̀bẹ̀ ni mo fi àsìkò yìí gbàdúrà fún Yorùbá nation kó lọ́wọ́ bàbá láàmú kó jẹ́ ká dé kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ kí ó wá sí ìmúṣẹ pẹ̀lú àṣẹ Ọlọ́run torí pé ó ti wá sí ìmúṣẹ náà tí Ọlọ́run bá ní kankan ṣe nípa Yorùbá nation ni kò ní jẹ́ kí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ máa ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn tá a ti rí ti pẹ́ látọdún tó ti pẹ́ ni torí gẹ́gẹ́ bí èmi yìí mo lè rántí ní 1999-2000 ọ̀rọ̀ kan ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú àlá tí mo lá pé ní ilẹ̀ wa bíbá yìí òun ló padà rúlù gbogbo àgbáyé èmi sẹ́yìn tí ìpínlẹ̀ wíwá Nàìjíríà mo ní àwa tá a sọ èdè kan náà ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa àwọn òun ló rúlù gbogbo àgbáyé nínú àlá tí mo lá mo dé lálẹ́ mẹ́ta bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn ìgbà yẹn ni mo sì ń lálà pé ogun that's 95 2005 2007 9 10 15 mo ti ń lálà kó ogun máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ni mo sì tẹ́ bá rí pé TV eléyìí ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí tí sàwọn tó wà lábroad ẹ̀dọ́ kọ́ jáde TV yìí ni tí ẹ bá rántí àtẹ̀tẹ̀ bá ń fọ́lọ̀ ẹ̀ that's 2019 nígbà yẹn lọ́hùn kí wọ́n pé a jáde adúpẹ́ fọlọ́run ọba tó ní wá torí pé gbogbo àwọn nǹkan yìí kọ́lọ́run bàbá tó láàánú kó jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kó ti bọ́ sí àsìkò bá a ṣe fẹ́ kó lè ti dá wa lóhùn nítorí gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àǹtí wa sísítà wa àwọn àbúrò wa tó wà lókè òkun àmọ́ struggle tí wọ́n ń bá pò lọ́hùn àmọ́ wàhálà tí wọ́n ń ṣe ọ̀pọ̀ èèyàn máa bìlí pé bóyá wọ́n ń wa góòdì lẹ́lẹ̀ ni kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹni bá mọ iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ṣe ni apiti àwọn tó wà lábroad abẹ́ni tó ti gbàbẹ̀ kọjá rí àmọ́ tí wọ́n ń kó àdẹ̀mọ́ tí wọ́n rí ẹ̀yin aráalé ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ ó sì pàtàkì fíìmù àti láti jẹ́ pé ká ṣí ẹ̀ fídíò yìí ó sì kókó kí ẹ bá mi kọ́ ọ̀tí ẹ̀ láti pé ká ṣí ẹ̀ káàkiri kó kan gbogbo àwọn ọba wa lára gbogbo ọba kọ́ba tí ó bá gba owó ní orí wa àwọn tó fẹ́ ta àwọn èèyàn wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe gbọ́ la ilaha illallah wẹ́ ọlọ́run bá lórí dédé mo fẹ́ kí gbogbo akẹ́ bá wa lísìn sí ọ̀rọ̀ brọ́dà mi yìí.
wàhálà ti ṣẹlẹ̀ wàhálà wà ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pè mí tán ní Nàìjíríà nísìnyí kí ló sọ ni pé ó ní ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tó ń jẹ́ àwọn top officer nínú DSS ipò pé ẹ̀gbọ́n ipò dá ẹ pé nǹkan tí a ń fà nǹkan tí a la fẹ́ gbà ipe federal government
ẹ̀gbọ́n tí wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní pé màmá onítìrí pé wọ́n wà nínú àwọn tó fẹ́ assassinate tó fẹ́ pa ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ o ẹ máa gbọ́ iye àwọn tí wọ́n sọ lọ.
bàbá Akíntóyè Bánjí Akíntóyè bàbá prof ipò wà nù ìpọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
ṣé ẹ̀gbọ́n tí wọ́n tún sọ pé bàbá wa Bánjí Akíntóyè tí wọ́n jẹ́ Professor Bánjí Akíntóyè ṣé ẹ gbọ́ pé wọ́n ní wọ́n fẹ́ pa àwọn náà tí àwọn bá wá fẹ́ ṣe lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ń sọ lọ́wọ́ o.
ẹ sẹ́ndì assassin lọ sí Kútọ́nù lọ bá bàbá níbẹ̀. bàbá kan tẹ̀ wá bẹ̀ wọ́n ní pé tó bá pè pèsè òyìn inú lè fẹ́ bí àwọn bàbá kan but káde ìgbà pé àwọn bàbá yẹn tẹ̀fẹ̀ yanjú ni èmi ò kí ẹ̀ nípa yẹn ìyẹn bàbá tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ wà láwọ̀ ìyá bàbá kan báyìí tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ pé restructuring lòun fẹ́ ìpè restructuring làwọn Yorùbá ń fẹ́ bàbá olórí àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re yẹn ó wà ní líìsì àwọn tó fẹ́ pàdánù àtàwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn so ẹ jẹ́ circulate message yìí kó lọ viral ẹ sẹ́ẹ̀kì sáwọn tẹ bá mọ̀ ẹ pé Olúpẹ̀dù ẹ pé Kóìkì ẹ pé Yèyé Dára ẹ pé Ṣóyẹ Kóríbẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ wa ọmọ ọdún.
ṣé wọn ò bí gbogbo wa a gbọ́ mẹ́sẹ̀gì yìí dáadáa torí màá tún mẹ́sẹ̀gì náà play màá tún play so a lè gbọ́.
wọ́n gbọ́ kí wọ́n gbọ́.
dáadáa ó ti yé.
Queen B wàhálà ti ṣẹlẹ̀ wàhálà
láti wọlé tó wá
ọ̀rẹ́ mi wọ́n ṣe pé wọ́n ní Nàìjíríà nísìnyí kí ló sọ ní pé ó ní ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tó jẹ́ àwọn top officer nínú DSS ipò pé ẹ̀gbọ́n ipò dá ẹ pé nǹkan tí a ń fà nǹkan tí a là ń fà ìpè federal government gbé ànọ́dá secret bad agenda jáde o. ó ní pé ẹ̀gbọ́n òun ó ní pé bọ̀dá yẹn sọ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n òun tó mo fẹ́ kákọ̀ forúkọ kó láti ní inú DSS gangan òun ni information ti leak out o. inú DSS gangan ni secret yẹn ti leak out. kí ni secret yẹn ni pé wọ́n ní wọ́n ti pe gbogbo àwọn ọba wọ́n ti pa ọ̀kan nú wọn kí pé kó send account number wọn àwọn kan ṣe pé wọ́n lè trace account number wọn so wọ́n fẹ́ parí portfolio ó bẹ̀ lórí 100 million 50 million accordingly aishif magba àwọn sẹ́ríkì àwọn ìlú lórí àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ti gba ẹ̀bọ̀dì tó ti ní sẹ́ríkì àwọn sẹ́ríkì ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó máa gba 50 million then àwọn ọba máa gba 100 million ẹni kí ni owó yẹn jẹ́ owó ẹ̀mí àwọn agitator àwọn tó fẹ́ gba Odua nation fún wa owó ẹ̀mí wọn ni o one nínú list yẹn wọ́n ní mamali 3 MKO Abiola ipò wà ní list àwọn tó fẹ́ assassinate wọ́n ní bàbá Akíntóyè Bánjí Akíntóyè bàbá prof ipò wà nù ipò fẹ́ sẹ́ndì assassin lọ sí Kútọ́nù lọ bá bàbá níbẹ̀. bàbá kan tẹ̀ wá ń bẹ̀ wọ́n ní pé tó bá pèpè sí ìròyìn inú lè fẹ́ bí àwọn bàbá kan but káde ìgbà pé àwọn bàbá yẹn tẹ̀fẹ̀ yanjú ni èmi ò kí ẹ̀ nípa yẹn ìyẹn bàbá tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ wà láwọ̀ ìyá bàbá kan báyìí tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó sọ pé restructuring lòun fẹ́ ìpè restructuring làwọn Yorùbá ń fẹ́ bàbá olórí àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re yẹn ó wà ní líìsì àwọn tó fẹ́ pàdánù so ẹ jẹ́ circulate message yìí kó kí ẹ sáwọn tẹ bá mọ̀ ẹ pé Olúpẹ̀dù ẹ pé Kóìkì.
fẹ́rí ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ mi màá tún play fáwọn ẹlòmíì tó bá tún wọlé létà fẹ́rí.
so mi ò ní play ogbó ẹ̀ sìn a máa tún padà wá a máa kéde ẹ̀ ń tọ́ sọ maramotiri àti Professor Bánjí Akíntóyè àti wíwá àbọ̀dì tí àwọn bá fẹ́ gbà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣàkíyèsí ká túbọ̀ jẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn kó yé wọn a sì ń ṣèwádìí lọ bọ̀tẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ náà la gbọ́ yẹn so n tí ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé a máa dá dúró báyìí a tún máa padà wá a máa kéde ẹ̀ torí pé kẹsẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ báyìí náà mò ń gbọ́rọ̀ yẹn àdẹ̀ka pé a máa bójútó àwọn bàbá àwọn professor àti àwọn madam ti rí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa kódà ó yẹ ká ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn àmọ́ ó dàbá ṣe gbọ́n sìn tó ẹ jẹ́ má bínú àtúrò àsìkò àròjù báyìí lọ a máa tún padà wá láìpẹ́ yìí. I want to thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching. Ẹ jẹ́ má bínú fún gbogbo network issues tó ṣẹlẹ̀ tí kò jẹ́ kò tètè wọlé àmọ́ àṣà àdébẹ̀ ń parí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ọmọ káàrọ̀ jẹ́ kò ní sí wa kò ní rẹ̀ wá o ó dìgbà kan náà a tún máa padà wọlé ẹ ṣeun.